I'm just going to pop that recording. So there's been a lot going on. There's a lot going on out in the world. So even if we weren't doing anything else, there would be a lot of things that are, kind of activating us and giving us lots of healing opportunities, just with, what we see. Sorry. Do, 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 do. I just realized I wanted to straighten that out a little bit. But there's a lot going on. So if you have something in particular that is showing up, feel free to put it in the chat. Feel free to ask for whatever you need from the field, because the truth of the matter is that you can do that anytime. You don't have to have like I think in the newer books they say an intercessor. You don't have to have anybody, as your go-between. You can just ask for what you want. But sometimes it's really helpful to know that somebody else is listening. So feel free to put that in the chat as it shows up. Okay, Becky, great. I appreciate you putting it in the chat. It's not great that you are feeling worse today with your eyes. There's a lot going on. I get there's a lot of eye stuff. There is a lot of nervous system stuff. This here is part of your transmedium channels, and there's a lot going on in that area, third eye, down into your sinuses, and there's just a lot to keep moving and keep reminding ourselves that these things are being moved. So we're going to, I'm happy to help you with that. I see a lot of fear and a lot of pain there as well. And so we will go ahead and work on all of that stuff. So, and Becky, I get the whole piece about the technology kind of booting you off, and we will clear more karma and agreements and reassign more beings, because beings don't always play really nice. Sometimes they want to manipulate technology, and we'll just keep working on that as well. So know that all of that is being worked on as we talk about day 8. And day 8, the very first thing that we're going to start with are those areas where we are looking at distorted reality. The places, it says, what stands before you today is a way of experiencing the self beyond the parameters that you have utilized to distort reality. We use the word distort intentionally. Indeed, it is your idea of who you are operating in distortion that acquires information that you agree to. So what does that mean? It means we have an idea of who we are, and I'm not worthy, and why would God want to help me? Everything I touch, turns to aluminum and doesn't turn to gold, and I'm not sure what I'm doing, and I feel like no matter what I do, it's not making a difference. If any of those, resonate with you, you are operating in distortion, because in truth, that is not the case for any of us. All of us are really powerful, magical beings having an incarnation on a planet that is extremely low frequency. We actually have the frequency of depravity here on this planet, and it doesn't exist on a lot of other planets. Like a lot of other planets, pain is their lowest frequency. And so we are doing the best we can with what we have, and we're constantly recognizing that the frequency of the planet is going up, and we keep healing whatever is showing up. So we're working with healing more of those distortions. And if you want to ask where you have a distortion, you can certainly do that. And the first thing is, where do you have some mirrors? Where are there some mirrors in you that are busy reflecting back to you that you are not enough, that you can't possibly be powerful enough to transform what is going on in your body? Where do you have some mirrors? Now, if you were one of those people who was with me last night, we did this last night as well. And trust me, we have a lot of mirrors. A lot of mirrors. And so you can keep asking to transform those. When I ask where I have mirrors that say, I'm not powerful enough, I'm not worthy enough, I don't have what it takes to transform what I keep being aware of in myself or in others, that shows up in my brainstem. Last night it was in my third eye. Not that there isn't more in my third eye to work with, but what I get is my brainstem today. And so that's how it works. Every time you read the text, every time you ask the question, you might get a different answer. And that is perfect for what is going on with you. Your higher self is going to give you the information that is next for you. And truly, if my higher self constantly said, third eye, third eye, third eye, third eye, I'd start to be like, how much is actually there? And am I getting that answer correct? Kate Ovaries, that is a fabulous place, great awareness. And I see some people in their clairsentient channels, they have some mirrors, and in the third eye, in the in the frontal lobe and in the temporal lobes. I was about to say it opposite. In the temporal lobes here, there are mirrors. And so yeah, we're going to just keep moving those places where, you're looking at a mirror and the mirror is shining back to you some low frequencies, some I'm not enough, I'm too fat, I'm too thin, I'm too old, I'm too young. If only I could XYZ, then my life would work out. Those mirrors are projecting a lot of fear and pain and anger, lots of that. So we're just going to keep moving those. And then while we're also working on those, we're also working on those distorted lenses, which Melchizedek actually uses on page 103. They say, when you understand this, the expression that you hold is actually unbridled, unfettered, and not operating in distortion. You have peered through a window with smoky glass for so long that you assume that what's beyond it is based on how you see through this lens of distortion. We've spent so much time looking through our dirty glasses, our dirty lenses, that we just assume when we wake up in the morning, that's what we're going to see. Whatever it is for you, you might have a situation that just keeps occurring again and again and again. And so when you wake up in the morning, you're like, another day, another challenge. And if that is what you're declaring, that's you looking through distorted lenses. So we're going to work on the lenses, because as we transform the lenses, things start changing. We wake up in the morning and we're like, oh, wow, it feels really good today. Oh, wow, this is going to be different. And we're speaking that into the field, and that's what we're going to experience. So we just keep moving more. That's all we do. So, we do that in the healing work that I do. I'm constantly moving those low frequencies, like those lenses. And when you pick up any one of these books, and whether you open it up and just read a page for what you need for today, or you pick it up and you're just putting it on your sternum. All of these books, I actually have 3 of them sitting right here. Doesn't matter which one. Each one of them, and you can see the rest of them are actually sitting on my bookshelf behind me, but each one of them is filled with healing alchemy key codes. They are overlaid with healing, and so you can just literally put them on yourself. I wanted to, I could just sit here and give myself a healing. It's really that easy. It's amazing. Amazing, amazing stuff. And the more you do it, the more you go, oh yeah, wow, I can see that. Everybody's throat just lit up. So we're going to work on everyone's throats. This is the Book of Innocence. This is the Book of Knowing and Worth. This is actually the 3rd channel text that Paul Selig did. This is the book, The Kingdom. And this one comes, book 3, Beyond the Known. I think this one is the 9th one. Maybe. The Kingdom came before the Book of Innocence. I could probably do them in order. Anyway, paulselig.com will get you to these. Or if you're on Amazon or something and you search for Paul Selig, you will get them as well. Book of Innocence is what we're working with today. Next time we're going to be working with the Kingdom. So yeah, lots of help for our eyes. Lots of help as we're sitting here in the healing circle for our nervous systems. Our nervous systems. When I look at them, they kind of look like frayed string. I have 2 cats, and so sometimes it shows up like that, like the way the cats are constantly shredding the string. Our nervous systems look like that. A lot of inflammation, a lot of just challenges with what is going on. So here's what's happening. The frequency of the planet is sitting here, and this is what we're really comfortable with, whatever it is for you. In the text, the Book of Innocence, they talk about, let's actually just do that one. So we have this reference point. Each of you who comes before us has his own requirement, her own requirement for unfoldment. One size does not fit all here. Imagine that there is a ladder and there are different steps on this ladder. To move to a higher step is to move beyond the lower, and you must steady yourself at each step, become comfortable there before further ascent is helpful or possible. We say helpful because you may attempt to strive upwards and fall back down. To grow comfortable at each stage is to align to the lessons that come here, and the lesson that each initiate faces will be altered by his or her requirements. So all of us are busy doing what we are individually here to do. That's what we're up to. And we're here, wherever that here is, and the moon downloads come in, all those high frequencies come in, and they hit the body, and the body sometimes does a little like, what the heck? What is all of this? I'm not used to all of this light. Kind of like if you're sleeping, you're fast asleep, and somebody comes in and turns on all the lights, and you're like, whoa, man, dude, turn off the light, right? That's what our body is doing essentially. And our bodies sometimes are like, I'm not used to that. And so we're experiencing that bang of the comfortable place that we were, and the higher frequencies kind of shaking us up and going, yo, it's time to go up. And we're kind of like, I don't know if I want to go up. I'm not sure. I don't know. Is this comfortable? What is this going to mean? And it is the same thing if we're on the step, right? The reference that they talk about in Innocence is, some of us are like, yeah, I'm going up the steps. And then you get to a point where you're like, I keep going, can I say this word? Fuck, I don't know if I want to go up anymore. This is really getting intense. This is really uncomfortable. And your higher self, your divine self, your Christed self, whatever term you want to use, is like, up we go. And you, the person in the body, is going, wait. I gotta get comfortable. I gotta get used to this. And so that's what they're talking about there. That's why our nervous systems are sometimes stretched really thin. That's why we have short tempers, why we question our decisions, why we worry about what's happening in the future, or we dwell on what's happening in the past, because we're not used to sitting in the present, to being right here and allowing whatever happens to happen. We're used to managing everything. My kitty is down here kind of meowing at me. We're used to managing everything and got it all under control. Okay, it's all handled. Don't upset the apple cart. So big healings for all of us, where we're waiting for the other shoe to drop because we have historical data that tells us, at this time of the month, when this particular thing happens, we know this next thing is gonna follow. Healings for all of us on that. Big healings for more grace for our nervous systems, more realization, more truth, more celebration frequency, which is a frequency that came in probably 2 months ago. More celebration. That is a fabulous thing. So, more transformation. And then if you start noticing as your body starts to take on that transformation, you do a little bit of okay, there it is. There's some peace. There it is. There's some calm. Okay, I'm good. All right. So at the bottom of page 106, Paul says, what are the requirements? This is one great journey, isn't it? We are all one, aren't we? Don't we have the same experiences and lessons? And they reiterate, you may all look out the same window and have completely different experiences of what you see. You may all know love, but know love in different forms and textures. The individuated experience is actually present in the upper room, but when we move to an eternal truth, what is true is always true. You also comprehend that the individuated lens is contributing to the large, vast picture of the comprehension of God. Our view is adding to the big, humongous, vast picture of God. Whatever you believe God to be is perfect for you. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not like, you need to change your view of God. because God loves that there's all these individual ideas about what God is. That's what God wants, is all these different experiences. It is those of us who are in bodies who are like, oh no, if you don't believe this way, you're not going to get this. You're not going to get to heaven. You're going to be damned forever. That's a human perspective. God's perspective is, yeah, bring it on. All those different ideas about what God is. I love that. That's what I want to just want to keep amassing more ideas of what God is. So I love when Paul does this. I don't understand this, he says. He asks for an explanation. We will say this: each of you looking out a window has prescription for him or herself and what he or she expects. You wake up in the morning, you have an expectation about what life is going to bring you that day. When you go higher, take the body up in frequency, these expectations are altered. Perception is altered, and what is received in perception is altered. Some of you say, I know what God is, but you only know God at the level of agreement that you can come to. That makes sense, right? I only know God through my own experiences. I don't know God through your experience or anyone else in the world. I can only know God through my own experience. They go on to say, no one can truly know God because it is unknowable in its vastness. But you may be known by God and experience this vastness at the level that you can hold it. So, for all those expectations we have, those places where, we've been told this is what God is, this is what God believes, this is how it all works. And sometimes we're kind of like trying to fit ourselves in to accommodate somebody else's viewpoint. I'm going to give everybody a healing on those places where we're trying to make ourselves look like everybody else, even while God is busy telling us, be you, do you. I had a t-shirt on yesterday. I think I had it on for the healing circle last night, but the t-shirt said, be you, the world will adjust. And I love that because that's what we're really looking for. Be you, the powerful, magical person that you came here to be. You, each individual one of us, came here to do something amazing. That might be, I gave birth to my children and I raised them and I was a stay-at-home mom and I had an amazing house and I loved everybody I came into contact with. It might also be that, you're like, no, I came here to, yes, have a child, but I came here to be a superstar in a particular field. I came here to design something that the world needed more of. That too is perfect in exactly how it was designed. You're here to do you. Do you, and the world will adjust. Probably not in the time frame that many of us want, but that's okay. It's a big healings for us all, where we just aren't thinking that we're enough, that we're worthy enough. God, I got so many opportunities to get healings in that. How about you guys? Ever feel like the unworthiness is just next level? Okay. while we're working on those places where we're busy trying to fit, I keep seeing a square peg in a round hole. And I was actually talking to somebody today who said that toy, they had that toy when they were a kid, where you're supposed to put the round peg in the round hole, and the square peg in the square hole, and the triangular peg in the triangular hole. She said, one day said, I want to see what it's like to put a square peg in a round hole. And she was so frustrated by not being able to do it that she went out to the garage, grabbed a hammer, brought it back, and started hammering that square peg into the round hole. And I was like, oh my God, I love that, because isn't that what we do? This is not fitting, so I'm going to go use force. I'm going to go get something to help me with it. And her father came in. It's like, what are you doing? And she said, I want this to fit. And he said, honey, that's not meant to fit. And neither are you if you're trying to accommodate whatever is there. You be you. And I was like, yes, man. I love that. Be you. The world will adjust. The world will adjust. So, all of that to say, we are also working on clocks. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Time is going so fast. I'm running out of time. There isn't enough time. I'm too old. I'm too young. I don't have what I need. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Or perhaps for you, you have some clocks that are going tick, tock, tick, tock, and you're like, let's get going, come on. So it could be your clocks that are going really fast and they're spinning around. It could be your clocks that are going really slowly and you are questioning how they are running. Feel free to ask where you have a clock that is spinning round and round and round faster than you can keep up with. I have one in my sacrum, and I have one in the arch of my left foot that's just spinning. And I'm really feeling like I'm never going to get caught up. We're going to reset those clocks. If they can be reset, we're going to reset them to present time. There may be some clocks that we're just going to go ahead and transform. Either way, it's going to be a benefit to us. I see a lot of them in people's third eyes, and their pituitary gland, and their pineal gland. Keep in mind that there's a lot of parts that are in our body that have a energetic component to it as well as a physical component. So the pituitary gland is part of the relay system of the energetic body. And so we want to keep giving that pituitary gland more healings. The piece on clocks, there is a piece on page 104 where the guides talk about you understand the evidence of time through the agreement to it, which is the parsing of vibration in a diluted sense that must be comprehended as the result of the lower field. We understand the 4-year college, the marriage that lasted 5 years, the child that is now 20, the body that is now 70. That's actually a human construct. And so we understand things from that perspective. And that's an agreement that we have. We have agreements to be connected to time in this incarnation. They add, it is not that you do not age in the upper room. The body may indeed age, but the aspect of self that is ageless is actually announced and is operating in a higher coherence. Your higher self is operating in the upper room in a higher coherence. Coherence is a frequency. Fabulous. So the stages of decay, how you have believed you would be at 70 after the 5-year marriage, after the 4-year college, is altered because your agreement to time itself, while present, is also operating in a simultaneous state of now, of eternity as now. We're operating in 2 different ways. Like we can have a sense of ourself being eternal. Here I am being eternal and I'm not aging. I am the higher self. But I also understand that I was going to meet you all here at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, that I am going to teach class tonight at 7 o'clock, that I have an appointment tomorrow morning at 8:30. But I can do both of those things at the same time, and so can you. You've always done it. Now you're having more awareness of it, and sometimes you might even get tripped up by it. So healings for us on those places. We get tripped up on it. How can I really be an eternal being when I have this physical body? It's an agreement that we have. So while we're working on everybody's nervous system, we're also working on people's digestive system. I don't know about you, but mine got really funky this weekend. I really want to point to something I ate, but there isn't that. It's just the stuff that is busy healing. So I have to keep reminding myself, not like, I'm stuck with this. This is just my digestive system going up in frequency. We're also going to work on our skin, integumentary system, and work on putting some more designs in our skin, in whatever. If you have some scars, we'll work on those things. If you have some places like some itchy skin, work on that. And Kate says, yeah, mine's been wacky for over a week. And yeah, of course. And we just go, okay, let me fall back to what I know. That's what I've been doing. I'm like, all right, I know it's not anything I've eaten, but let me step back into some good practices. Let me, watch what I'm eating. Let me avoid foods that I know that my body doesn't particularly like. And let me keep giving myself healings so that I'm moving out the fear and the pain and all of those things that are certainly not doing me any good. We just keep doing that. Oh, and the other one, integumentary system and the cardiovascular system, or cardiovascular system, the heart. are getting some help with those while we're sitting here. And of course, I'm like, really? We're going to work on judgment. I'm sure I'm the only one that has judgment, but we're going to work on more judgment. Those places where we are judging other people, we could just be judging other people. Why did you do it that way? What were you thinking? Oh my God, are they the most narcissistic person in the world? Yeah, those are all judgments, and we just keep moving out the low frequency. Here's a frequency for you, the frequency of periwinkle. It's literally what the frequency is called, periwinkle. It's also the color. It is a frequency that moves more judgment. So if you're moving through your day, you're doing something, and you find yourself like just in a big bunch of judgment, you can say, I'd like to have more periwinkle, please. Periwinkle, periwinkle, periwinkle. We have said that on many occasions. Heal that, heal that, heal that. All of those things work. You can also just go, really? And energetically ask for more help. Healing more judgment, fear of getting it wrong, places where you have some punishment pictures, feel free to ask. Where are you holding a big punishment picture that your higher self is like, hey, can you help me with this one? Mine is in the middle of my back. It's a punishment picture that's like being a workhorse, having to carry all these burdens, and wow, it comes around to my diaphragm and goes up into my sternum. Like, oh yeah, I want to move more of that. I want to be stuck with these ideas that life is hard, that I'm being punished. Don't want any of that stuff. Ready to move more of that. So where do you have some punishment pictures? BG, you absolutely. I don't want any more of that. I'm being punished. Where are your punishment? So someone who's in the circle has these punishment pictures that are like being whipped across their back. Someone else has these like stakes that are being put through their neck, kind of manage them, control them, moving those. And then because I just watch them, the places where we feel like we're being manipulated and like that we're puppets on a string, is watching the cross pieces of wood up here moving around. We're going to work on as much of those as we can, because that's not the truth of us. That's not what is going on. That is some ideas that have been implanted, that we have been carrying around that aren't true. Imagine that. We have some ideas that aren't true. Imagine that. People's jaws just showed up. Maybe that's mine. But if your jaws have been bothering you, if you've seen yourself, noticed yourself kind of clenching your jaw, pull some power lines. Power lines are lines of information that exist all throughout the cosmos. You can put your middle finger over your pointer finger and ask for a power line anytime you would like. Power lines are filled with healing alchemy information. You ask for a power line, put it where you want, wait for the information to be put into that spot, and then you let it go and the power line goes back up and refills. So you can do that all day long. Like you have a bum knee, pull some power lines. You can do them with both hands. Put it on your knee. I'm putting it on my knee from here. Put it on your knee. And then when your hands move, trust that you got some new information. If you find yourself going, I don't know if I did that right. Is it okay? Is it working? You can do two things. One, you can trust yourself. Two, you can send me a text and say, hey, did that work? I'm happy to look for you. And remind you that you are pretty powerful. You're very magical. And of course it worked. You can put power lines in someone else, but you want to ask their higher self. Like even my kids, now my kids are grown adults, I would not gift them, do anything without their higher self's permission. So yeah, you just want to ask. But you can also show somebody, like if you have young children, you could be like, hey, now my grandson is not quite 2 yet, so he wouldn't necessarily get this. But when they're old enough to understand, put your fingers like this and ask the field for some information. Right? Teach them how to do that, of course. I have said more than once, I wish I had known this stuff when my kids were young, so I could have injected it into their lives long before they got to be adults. Okay. There's a big piece of day 8 that is about what God can be. And I read a piece of it. I read a couple pieces of it. Down at the bottom of page 107, it says, the teaching of the day is actually on infinity, where God is known at the level that God can be received. I love that. We've talked about it. You know God at the level you know God. And that's perfect exactly as it is. They go on to say, while you may know God in Tuesday at the 11th hour at 4 o'clock or 2, your experience of God is always in infinity, because God is beyond time, and your moments of knowing, and in your moments of knowing, you are beyond time as well. When you are in your clarity, when you are in your knowing, when you know, like rock solid, this is what I'm doing next, you are beyond time. You are operating outside of the parameters of the requirements of the planet. To live in the upper room or in the presence of the divine is to move to a strata of vibration where you may be in the world. Yes, I made my 4 o'clock appointment, but not of it. I know it is always now. The eternal yes sung to God, the eternal agreement to God is actually ever present for you here because you are not denying it. You can be sitting in the dentist chair, getting your teeth worked on, and know that you are in the present. I am here, I am here, I am here. It's one of the claims of truth that are in probably all of the books, or nearly all of the books. In fact, towards the bottom of page 108, they say, each of you who comes before us asks this question, why am I here? Here's the answer, because you cannot be anywhere but here. How many of you have been busy chasing the I've got to do something important, I've got to make my mark, I've got to finish this thing in order to be enough? Me, for sure, absolutely. And one of the things they're reminding us is that being here, right here, is perfect. You can't be anywhere else but right here, right now. And you are here in all ways and everywhere else simultaneously. This speck of consciousness that is your agreement to the entitlement of the identity that may be named Jonathan or Bill or Frida or Alice or Kate or BG or Becky is present in all ways. But you are so vast that you don't understand who you can be. So our desire is to move you now beyond the borders, beyond the entrenched systems that have claimed you in limitation. So, one, here's the healing for those places where you have set up limits. I am Bonnie and this is who I am. I can't be anything more than that. Because you've always been so much more than that. Each and every one of you have always been so much more than you think. We're working on pictures and movies. You all are showing me a whole bunch of pictures. Some of them kind of look like playing cards or tarot cards, kind of bigger pictures that are like, no, you don't understand. Here's who I am, and here's who I am, and here's who I am. And you're like throwing these pictures of who you are down, like, no, this is who I am. And we are transforming those limiting ideas of who you are because you are more than just that picture. You're more than however you or somebody else is defining you. So much more. We are so much more than we can imagine. So I'm going to take just a minute before we do the claim of truth on page 108, the attunement, to let you know that in 2 weeks, it's April 13th and 14th, we're going to be in this book, The Kingdom, and like I have done every other time, I will put the section of text on Facebook and in the WhatsApp chat so that you all can have access to it. We are doing page 25 to 32. I don't remember the day now. Day 4 in the kingdom. And day 4 in the kingdom, here's just a little piece of it. I comprehend my divinity. I understand that I must be of God, and without being of God, I would not be. That's where we've always been. So I will be putting that in those places so that you all have access to it. And we'll be talking about it over the next 2 weeks. But there is a page in the kingdom that has a claim of truth that I just want to put this out into the world, put it out into the cosmos. So, if as I'm reading it, if you are repeating it or if you are saying it in your head, you too are putting it out into the field. It's just, I think it's one of my favorite attunements ever. It's on page 108 in the kingdom. Here it is. May I know peace. May I know love. May I know myself in gratitude of the gifts of the kingdom that seek to be bestowed upon me. May I know joy and prosperity. May I know my brother as myself, my sister as myself. May I know all things as they truly are, and not as how I've been instructed to see them. May I know God in the air, in the sky, in the earth, in the sea, and in all things. I offer myself to God in this new agreement. Behold, I make all things new. And once again, as I see that going out, it's just going out into the field. And it is being picked up by the trees and picked up by the plants and picked up by the birds and picked up by all the beings everywhere. And just, it keeps passing from one leaf to another, from one plant to another, from one drop of water to another, and being carried around the world, because we are all connected, because we are all brothers and sisters. And that is the truth, regardless of how any of us see it out our window. Back to that piece that we were talking about. We look out our window and we think that's what it is. It's a little skewed. Keep working on those lenses, those distorted places. We'll work on those. Look at all the blessings going out. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Blessing each and every one of you. Blessing all of those that you would bless and that they would bless and that they would bless. And just keep passing it along. Here's the claim of truth, attunement from page 108 in the Book of Innocence. It's really pretty. On this day, I claim that all that I have known in limitation will be made new. That I give permission to move beyond the borders of consciousness that I have inherited or erected. That I am willing to be on this journey to what is beyond the upper room, and may know myself in fullness as this is my birthright. I know who I am in truth. I know what I am in truth. I know how I serve in truth. I am free, I am free, I am free. That frequency of freedom is amazing. It is a bright red, and it unlocks more of the locks and controls that we have here on the planet. So you can literally walk around every day just going, I am free, I am free, I am free. You could add, I am here, I am here, I am here. And you are transforming what is in front of you. Now that's freaking powerful. I mean, it's hard to believe, but it's true. It is the truth of who each and every one of us are. So we have a gift for everybody. The gift is a star. And the star, how it shows up for me is a 5-pointed star. Your star might show up with 8 points or 9 points or whatever it is for you. But the star is filled with it's got so many different frequencies and energies in it that what it looks like is the cosmoses. Like, you know how you see it in pictures where it's like the black sky with all the different colors, and there's like a nebula over here and there's stars here, and it's just amazing. That's what the star looks like. And when I asked about it, it was the reminder that we're all connected, that we're all connected in every way. Every one of us on the planet, on every other planet, on every star, no matter where we are in any of the cosmoses, we are connected. And so that gift is being gifted to you. You can ask where yours is going. Last night I put it in my sternum, and today I'm putting one in my third eye. It's going to help transform those places where we think we're separate, where we think that we're not enough, where we just forget just who we are. We are of source. So we're going to activate those gifts. Activate, activate, activate. It's fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. And then if there's no more questions, if there's nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and seal the field unto the light of that one true source, creator God, the one who is all the love, all the magic, all the fabulousness. And I, of course, thank my healing team and all the support teams. And I thank each and every one of you who showed up to say, yes, I do want to transform more of what's not working for me. And I am ready to realize that I am so much more than I can remember. I hope you'll join me on Facebook or on WhatsApp, join the discussion, see what shows up for you. And if there's anything I can do to help you in the next 2 weeks, please feel free to send me a text or contact me through any of the social media. I love you guys. Thank you. With that, I say amen and aho. Have a great day, guys, and happy full moon.